Why, hello, my fellow muselings.
Sorry, no. Are we actually going with that one?
Have you got anything better?
No.
Okay, so today we're going to continue our descent into darkness like a rock that looks down by providing commentary on another segment from Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings.
And how is the Rings of Power going, Steve?
Oh, it's something else.
That's not what I expected. I was expecting something more along the lines.
Bullshit! Bullshit is what you expected. Yeah. No, this is.
Well, episode 6 was particularly catastrophic.
Like, honestly, I am not one for jumping on the hate wagon, but this really is something else. And by the end of the episode, I'm sure we would have at least convinced you as to why some people think that this is a particularly bad bit of writing, combat.
I've been laughing since the start of the show, basically, but I know this one in particular broke things for you. I couldn't breathe during this one. I was laughing so hard at some of the shit that was occurring.
You know what, mate? I actually need a beer for this. So
good idea.
I'm getting myself a nice beer.
Cheers.
Grab the control. We can turn it on. It's just above your head. Just there. All right. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to be starting after Adar has pumped up his orcs to attack the villagers that he warned ahead of time that he is going to be coming to get them.
Yeah, a true tactician. And like a true tactician, he's walking slowly at the front of his army without a helmet, when he knows his enemy is a superb elven archer. Straight from the get-go, who wrote this?
The whole time he's walking up, I'm just saying, shoot him. Shoot him. Now's your chance. Why is no one shooting? In fact, why is no one doing anything here?
They're being funneled down a single path, for crying out loud. Like, this is a defender's dream.
And none of the orcs have shields. If you were to loose arrows now, you could pile up such a mound of bodies that the orcs couldn't even get to you.
Yeah, like, just game over, they've lost. That is if the villagers had actually stuck around instead of heading to an obviously much more defensible open village with 5 wooden buildings. But we will get to that.
Yes, we will.
To me, this represents the writer's awful propensity of wanting cool scenes at the expense of logic and character intelligence. I think that is just a central criticism of the show.
Of the show in general, yeah. Also, why is Wally up front?
I don't know.
He's done nothing but annoy Adar so far by calling him Sauron. But now, suddenly, he's Lieutenant Wally.
So, you're right? So, they've done really serious damage to Adar, who is, especially his intellectual standing.
Yes.
Who was, up until this point, one of my favourite characters. Look, he's let a person who's already demonstrated that he'll hastily betray others for his own survival right next to him.
Yep.
Like, Adar...
You don't understand though, Steve. He trusts him now. He killed another villager.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, it makes sense. Well, we know why he's here, really. It's that he needs to be in another scene later. It's about that scene over substance kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you open a door this easily, if one wasn't a Wally, you might assume a trap.
Especially when you've had to walk over the chain, running out of the door to a rock, right next to the drop.
Suspicious.
How many?
Or maybe not, but we'll get to that.
All right, this is Arondir's day, because his enemy has walked into the middle of the bailey with no helmet on and relatively distanced himself from his orcs. He is about as exposed as he possibly could be. This is stupid for Adar and absolutely phenomenally lucky for Arondir.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame that Arondir left, otherwise he could take advantage of this moment. Oh, wait, there he is.
Next to a light.
Quick question. If Arondir didn't reveal this mural last episode, would Adar even know this was here?
Reese, that's a problem for another day.
All right.
Where is he? What happened to Sauron?
Why would Wally ask that again when he was beaten for it last time?
Well, last time it got him promoted to lieutenant, so maybe he's now aiming for general. I don't know.
Can't find tooth nor tail of him. Must have got smart and scarped.
No, they are dumb, waiting at the bottom of the hill with lanterns.
But we'll get to that a little later.
You know, Steve, that's the kind of on-the-nose foreshadowing the show writers would make.
That's it. That's in the feels. Ouch.
No. The elf's here. Is Moonwalk.
You know that the elf is here, and you're still bumbling about in the open. Why?
Well, shouldn't that give him even bigger hints of a trap? If he can smell him and he's still walking in, helmet,
Exactly. Arondir takes his opportunity to shout, "I'm here!" And then shoot a random orc, and not Ada, who he knows as the leader. Who wrote this?
Lucky for Adar, he's not the only stupid in the show, it seems.
Yep, they've just seen another one of their orcs shot, and none of them are running for cover.
Yeah, second shot, still not at Adar. Who's right there? He's there. He's right there. That's your enemy. You kill him.
Arondir could have ended this entire episode at this moment. He's literally there, in his sight. Honestly, at this point in the episode, I was just holding my head in my hands. This show is staggeringly stupid.
Well, especially with what comes next, because instead of springing his trap, just getting on with it, he's revealed himself, literally saying, "I'm here," losing that element of surprise.
Honestly, the only reason the villains survive in this show is because the heroes are actually somehow stupider than they are. But I'm going to stop on this topic right now because that needs a whole episode to cover. Everyone's an idiot.
More prime quality foreshadowing there, Reese. Well done.
You're right, that does hurt.
Okay, well, if only just a few orcs had ranged weapons, like they do later, Arondir would be dead.
Yes, but he can't die, because here comes the arrow that allows this entire garbage episode to occur. Yeah. Fire just doesn't work like fire in this show.
What even is physics?
I don't know.
Who wrote this?
That's what you're looking for! You must move now! You must move!
There are no words in Elvish, Entish, or the tongues of men for how stupid this show is. Let's watch that again.
So you're telling me that just one rope being severed caused an entire building, an entire tower to collapse? Who built this?
How long has this tower been here? And that rope's never rotted. Imagine they were defending this tower. They could have all died.
A decent gust of wind would have blown it down.
I have to ask, was this tower designed to collapse? Because that's the only thing I can think of. No one would build a defensive position with such an exploitable weak point.
Or, I have to say, Arondir might just be an expert in Jenga. And so he's pulled out enough bricks so that it's hanging by just a thread.
Who approved this?
I don't know.
You've built a tower in this world on spit and duct tape. Steve, the writers wrote this. The CGI artists rendered this. The editors edited this. And the producers signed off on this without anyone calling bullshit. I don't believe it.
Utterly unbelievable. Oh look, conveniently, that entire army on that hill and on that bridge, they're gone.
And that's lucky for Arondir, who kind of needed that to be empty in order to escape.
Oh look, it's the not-so-obvious chain that tons of orcs walked over without noticing. And talking of luck, if that chain had slipped just a little bit on that log, at this point, this whole thing wouldn't have worked. They would have been able to have got out really easily. Right,
so we see here the door closes thanks to this trap, in a loose sense of the word. But it does open again for Arondir to shoot an orc.
So apparently all of those orcs are now in that building.
No. You see, half his army is waiting off camera, and that means they don't exist, because these writers don't understand object permanence, something we're aware of from about 8 months old.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Because moments later, they show us that clip of orcs being everywhere but near Arondir.
Now, you see, we need to be reminded here that Adar is the bad guy. So when Wally tells him to move, Adar strangles him. You know, because he's the bad guy, and that's what bad guys do. They strangle their own men.
Yeah, well, in Adar's defense, right, he might just be extremely frustrated by the fact that the writers have turned him into a complete idiot.
Oh, no, we were all wrong after all. Adar is a good guy, choosing here to save Wally by taking 2 steps away from the falling tower.
Which is somehow enough to avoid this. Which, of course, is avalanching every extra.
The plot armor thickens.
Stop it.
Okay, look, now we know why the orcs were on one specific part of the hill. It was so we could see them getting crushed.
Who wrote this? This is such shit.
And it's such shit compacted into just 3 minutes. This is impressively amateurish.
Genuinely, that's an insult to amateurs.
And the villagers hadn't even left. In fact, they're in sight of the tower, holding lanterns.
Which means the orcs should have seen them, especially where they're on that side of the...
You mean they're on a high vantage point, able to look out and see a gaggle of people there with lights? Yeah. No, they're invisible.
How many of you could have survived that?
Loads, apparently, which we'll see next time, because honestly, I've had enough of this episode already.
You want another beer?
There is no beer strong enough to wipe that from my memory. Time will, because I think I'm going to forget about this show in about a month.
All right, Reese. Honest thoughts of those, 4 minutes? Honest thoughts. Come on.
Shit. Absolute horse shit. Do you know that there's people out there calling this the best episode, or that it redeemed the entire series for them?
There's not.
I don't get it. I really don't understand it.
Are you for real?
I'm serious. But think about what we had here in those 4 minutes. How much awful writing was compressed into that time.
Let's actually do this, okay? Right. So, Adar. Let's start with Adar.
Mm-hmm.
He was marching up front without a helmet on.
Yep.
Unbelievable. We had 1,000 orcs walking over a trap without seeing it. We had Arondir, right, shooting random orcs and not Adar.
Only after shouting, "I'm here!"
It's true. A fire arrow that instantly burnt through rope.
Which then caused an entire tower to collapse, because the elves apparently used the worst construction techniques ever.
Yeah, or they had the time and ability to rig it with the wind very much on their side.
No, I don't believe that for a moment.
Me neither. And honestly, they ruined. They ruined my favourite character,
Adar.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me that you and quite a lot of other people actually have been rooting for the bad guys in this show.
You mistake me. I actually am not really a fan of Galadriel.
Oh, that's true. She is the villain of the piece. And the Harfoots. I don't like them either. But we can't just shit on this total shit show forever. We said we were going to do some constructive criticism. So, what you got?
All right. Step 1, cast it, the whole thing into the fire.
Destroy it!
Right. That's destructive criticism, Steve. One I happen to agree with, but, constructive stuff. Like, they can work with.
Okay, all right. I would have it so that Adar has scouts. You know, like any tactician and any leader and any army, they actually have scouts, because that way they could have seen the villagers leaving, knowing that, they could have reacted with that basic information. So that's the first thing, especially where they had lanterns.
Yeah.
So, would have been
that would be the thing that I'd probably want to change out of it. But,
remove lanterns.
Okay, what else can we go for? There's nothing. This entire sequence of events is broken just on the basis that the villagers left their defensive position.
Yeah.
Why would they abandon this place?
Okay, well...
Other than the collapsing tower.
If we can't do constructive criticism, let's rewrite it.
All right. Okay. What you got?
I would have, first of all, have some skilled warriors that you leave in the tower.
Yep.
Because then you can buy more time for the village to escape to the location that they mention in the next episode anyway.
The only warrior they've got, though, is a Rondir.
Yeah, and they don't have lanterns, okay? I'm just saying, for definite. Not on. They've got a Rondir, that's true.
So technically, they've already done what you suggested.
Yeah, they got closer.
Instead of collapsing the tower, what if they collapse the bridge with the orcs on it?
Yeah.
Because that's as far as I can see, that's a far better decision. One, in case you ever want to come back to use this place again, building the bridge is easier than rebuilding an entire tower. And two, if you've got several people defending it, you can break the bridge and still shoot orcs with your bows. So you can still actually defend this place properly.
And it also would have worked better because none of the orcs had range weapons. So that would have been game over. However, we're rewriting it. And if we're rewriting it, they have range weapons.
And
because
shields.
and shields. Like, yeah.
You need to actually make them a threat.
Don't put Wally up front.
No. The problem is, man, we're on a sort of right track here. But the fundamentals are still broken.
They are, yeah.
Because the rest of this episode, it kind of relies on a bunch of contrivances that are set up from this sort of thing.
Yeah.
The villagers, essentially this show only, or this episode rather, only takes place because the villagers aren't here.
Yeah.
So if the villagers are, or some of them have stayed behind to defend it and do so successfully, then the rest of the episode can't occur.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right.
Or the latter part of the episode.
When you said, make this better, let's rewrite it, you were asking, let's polish it up.
Yeah.
So, what you're really saying is...
Throw it in the fire!
Yeah.
Alright.
Bye.